Hi guys, welcome to episode number 8 of Q-Tips with Techie Cari. Today we're going to talk about using one of my favorite extensions called Nimbus to take screenshots, and I think you're going to find it really helpful. So let's get started. Okay, the first thing you have to do is you have to go to the Chrome Web Store and we have to download Nimbus. Now remember, you can only use extensions if you're using the Chrome browser. So all I did was a simple search for the Chrome Web Store. You're going to click here, and then you're going to type in here Nimbus. Now in the past, when I wanted to do a screenshot on my Mac, for instance, or on my Chromebook, use a sequence of 3 or 4 different keys and you can take that screenshot. So Nimbus is going to add a new level to screenshots because you're going to get to do a little bit of extra things to your screenshots. So you're going to hit Add to Chrome, and you're going to hit Add Extension. And then you know it's added to Chrome because it will show up right up here. Now I have quite a few extensions already, and it just popped up, and there it is. Now it's going to give you a little short tutorial, and you can watch this if you want to, but for now I will teach you how to use it. One of the first ways I want to show you how you can use Nimbus as a student is to make real-life math problems. So I love giving students that challenge and saying, hey, will you take a picture and will you create a math problem? So I've just searched for modern house, and then what you can do is you can pick a house. Now let's pretend like we're learning area and perimeter or something like that, and we want our students to create some type of math problem when it comes to that. So I'm going to take this picture. Now I can also do volume here because there's water. I can do length. I can do all kinds of great stuff. I'm a student and I'm going to create a math problem. Now I need to provide my fellow students with some information. So this is where the screenshot comes into play. You're going to click on Nimbus, and I'm going to do selected area. There's lots of different options, but for this example, let's do selected area. You're going to come in here. Now we don't get everything on the first try. That's okay, because you can drag up and down. Okay, so here's the crucial part. You're going to click the pencil. I repeat, click the pencil, because you want to do some editing. So I'm a student and I'm creating this real life math problem for my fellow students. So I need to give them a little bit of information. So what I can do is I can grab a text box and I can click here and I can say, find the volume of the pool. Okay. Now this is really big, right? So you can take and you can drag this around. If you come up here, you can change the font to something smaller. So I'm just going to change it to 15 real quick. Alright, so I want my classmates to find the volume of the pool. And they probably need a little bit more information, right? So what I can do is I can come over in here. I can draw an arrow in here. And I could put that, I could put another text box and saying the pool is measures 3 feet by 16 feet by 20 feet. So I just made up some quick measurements. Okay, and then I can, as a student, I can keep adding more information here. I can keep adding different questions for the other students to answer and so forth. Okay, I can go in here and I can grab a square. I can have them figure out the area of this patio up here. Once you hit done, you have a couple of options here. You can save the image locally to your computer like a download, or you can send it to Google. I recommend having students send it to Google. That way we know it's in a safe place and so forth. So you're going to hit send to Google. The first time you do it, it's going to ask you to sign in. You're going to pick your email that you want to sign in with, and then you're going to hit allow. So once you hit send to Google, a link is going to pop up here. You can copy that link. But let me show you what a student should do. they should open up either like a blank Google slide, maybe a blank Google Doc. And I have one open right here. And if you go to Insert, Image, Google Drive, over here on Recent, it's going to pop up and you can just slide that picture in there. And then at this point, the student can go in, they can type some more questions, and then share that with their fellow classmates. Okay, let's talk about the teacher uses of Nimbus. I apologize, but there's a reason that I'm showing you this gross one. So let's say that you have done a lab and y'all have dissected frogs, and now you want to do a test. Now, sometimes it's hard to keep those frogs nice. I'm once again going to use selected area, and I'm just going to grab this beautiful frog. Okay? And remember, you're going to hit that edit button. So what I want to do is I want to put in some labels so that I have like question 1, 2, 3, 4, and etc. So I'm going to grab this one. It's called the text arrow. And it can be a little tricky to work with the first time. So I'm going to do number 1. And I obviously want to make this a little bit smaller. And then you can move your arrow around wherever you want it. So I'm going to move this here. And then this can be pointing at whatever body part that is. Okay? And then I can keep adding those as we go. And then let's say that I want to blur something. So you're going to click on blur area, and you can literally, let's say maybe I want to hide this green part, and you can even do it several times if you want to. And then you can go back in, add your text arrow, and so forth. Okay? Now, if you wanted to, you could also draw on top of it or highlight with the pen. So maybe I wanted to circle it a little closer since it's kind of an odd shape, and then put in a text box, and then I can keep doing that as well. Then I'm going to hit done. Now this time, when I hit send to Google, you're going to see something that maybe you noticed before, but now I have the option to send this directly to Google Classroom. Okay, so if I click that button, it's going to ask, which class do I want to send it to? You choose your class, and then it's posted inside of that classroom. So that's one way that I love to use Nimbus, because maybe I don't have the budget to order more of these dissected frogs. Maybe it's just too stinky in my classroom. So let's talk about ways that administrators can use Nimbus. So let's say that I want to post a picture to our school website, and let's pretend like this is a picture of students on maybe on the playground or something. So once again, I'm going to go up here to Nimbus. I'm going to do selected area. I'm going to grab this image, and this can be done with any image that you have in your Google Drive as well. I'm going to hit the pencil for edit. Now let's pretend that you have this beautiful picture you want to put on your school website, but unfortunately this little guy is not allowed to show their face. So once again, we used the blur before. We're going to grab that blur area, and we can blur that kiddo out of there. Okay? And then you hit done and send your image over to Google, or send it to wherever it needs to go. Now this can also be done with maybe some paperwork that has student ID numbers on it, and you have to share that paperwork with someone that doesn't need to know their ID number or their social security number. So using that blur feature is really great. Thanks for watching today's episode. I will see you next week. Remember, we post videos every Monday.